Moo and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pinktron. I am Brent Robinson. I'm joined today by, let's go with Craig Martin. Craig, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Kick Axe Double IPA from Big Axe Brewery out of Nakowick, New Brunswick, home of the
Let me
world's largest axe.
let me ask you another question. I don't have one. We'll go on. John Keenan. John, what are you drinking?
I am just about finished with my kombucha raspberry lemon something. It's quite good. Sucked it down.
That sounds delicious. And we also have Steph at Jen. Steph, what are you drinking?
Fanta lemon as always, or as most pink trans.
Most common. All right. And then Sean and I are going to be in the battle of interesting drinks. So, Sean, what are you drinking? Sean Fogarty.
Uh, yeah, I was at the store yesterday and walking past the refrigerated drink section was like, all right, got to find something interesting. Ended up
Mhm.
with it's the brand is called Cali Water, and it is a cactus water, super hydration and rare antioxidants, plus skin and digestion benefits. Uh, Yeah, so cactus water with wild prickly
Oh,
pear.
I'm hoping the skin also modifies benefits, not just that it has skin in it.
Yeah,
It did sound when you said it that
it has skin and digestive
And
benefits.
digestive benefits.
That's
Oh,
interesting,
goodness.
Sean. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that wins.
Cactus and prickly pear. It's very deserty.
Yeah, it tastes okay. Tastes like prickly pear.
Yeah. Do you feel the benefits
My
yet?
skin is glowing.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
I'm
All right.
looking dewy.
Oh dear.
Uh, no comment. No comment. All right. I have my VWR 2024 beer,
Oh,
which I
Yeah.
did not open. VWR California was this past weekend. Uh, I did not go again this year for various reasons. This is a Lost Abbey Brewing Company Inferno Ale. It's actually a 9%, which I didn't realize when I popped this bad boy out. But
Oh.
anyway,
yeah.
we're
Once it's
gonna
Is
open, you
that
got
a
to
pro
finish it, right?
is that a
if I
proper
don't if I don't if I fall off my chair in the middle of this podcast, you'll know why. And we can we do
it's
like
a
this?
proper cork?
Oh,
Oh,
that worked.
oh.
It didn't get me, but did it sound good?
It sounded
It
great.
sounded good.
Oh, good, good, good. There we go. It's got a cork. That's what that noise was. And
Yeah.
what everybody was laughing about is I pulled the cork off. It looked like I punched myself right in the face.
Sure did.
So did you
Uh,
punch yourself in the
no,
face?
it missed. It missed me.
Okay.
I just went right past me. Although I've done a terrible pour or it was super extra fizzy. I don't know which, but
I do love
I have to
Lost
wait.
Abbey Brewing. It's a brewery in San Diego County, but they make some really interesting stuff.
It says Vista, California, which I guess is close
Yeah,
enough. And
it's
this
in
mug,
San Diego County.
while we're waiting for this to go down or whatever. This mug, I don't know. This is a good podcasting. This is my mug. It says Scotland with a map of Scotland on it. Is not from Scotland at all. Well, at least it wasn't to me. When my sister had her wedding a few years ago, the like kind of party favors was they just went to a like thrift store and just bought everyone random cups. And those were like our cups for the evening at the thing. This is in a bit of a
Nice.
COVID time. So we had like everybody got their cup from the thrift store, and this was mine from my sister's wedding.
So you have a cup that's not from Scotland with a Belgian ale that's from not from Belgium.
Yep. There you go. This beer is okay. I don't know how much this is that it was sitting for the last year. That's probably a little long for beer to sit, if we're being honest. But it's very drinkable, but it's very strong. And if you're going to be racing HSRL this week, you better be strong because we are doing hella laps of the Bell lap.
12.
12?
12 laps.
Only
12
12.
laps.
Only 12.
Yeah, not
Only
16.
12.
Or it was 18, wasn't it?
20? 24?
No,
Mark too many.
I think the
I've
most
done
we did in
15.
HSRL was 18.
That sounds right. This week we're doing 12. And it's HSRL rules. So the only segment that counts is the bell lap prime sprint. Now, I can never remember which one of these goes which direction until I'm on the course. Is this the one up the hill or is this the one up the cobbles?
Bell lap is
Up
the
the
one
hill,
that
down the cobble.
you do the rollers first,
Yeah.
and then you do the
Turning
longer
left.
segment with the flatter part and down the cobbles.
Yeah.
But the banner is at the top, right? Yeah.
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 The banner's at the top. Yeah, yeah. So the segment, starts right after you come through those rollers. It's about
Yeah.
well,
If
it's,
you
Took me
accept
three
that
three
for the
laps to
party
figure
thing.
out where it started.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, be ready for that. It is a tricky start for the segment because you come around that left-hand turn and it's hard sometimes to see where that red line is in my recollection.
Yeah,
And then
it's not very bright.
and it's uphill for 290 meters, which
I was about to say sprint right out of the park, but don't think I've a 300-meter sprint uphill in me.
Yeah.
Not at full speed anyways, or at full power.
for reference. In terms of like, it takes me my best ever is 23.6 seconds in a bullseye of all things
Mm.
through this sprint. So, wow, I've only really sprinted it like, oh, I guess I've done a bunch of races with multiple sprints in it, but then only your best time for that race shows up in here. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my best time. Look at other herd typey people.
Yeah, looking at Swift Power, the A's are around the 22-second mark, 21, 22-second mark for the sprints, and up to these it goes to
Sean's got a
around
23.9.
27, 30 seconds for the D's.
Chris is a 23.3. Sorry, I'm not seeing your name in this list yet, Craig.
I haven't done the bell lap herd very many times.
Harry Rigby's is only at 24.7, so obviously he's never really hammered it either.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
Vicky has a 25. Eric Cedric is a 25.
Sounds like low to mid 20s is about the
Yep.
Yeah.
about the time.
Which is a long sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, A's the lower 20 seconds and up to these is upper 20 seconds to 30 seconds for effort. Yeah.
It's possible I've only ever done one race in this direction.
Yeah, it's not super common.
No.
No.
Everybody likes Downtown Dolphin better.
I don't.
or it's big more. It's big more. Let's say it that way.
It feels like the more natural racy direction. Do you know what I mean? Like that uphill twisty cobble bit feels like the way the course is supposed to be raced, with then the little rollers into the finish. Like it does feel that way, but this is a perfectly interesting race.
It is. It is.
I know other tips on this. I mean, full chaos, right? Like we're doing 2K laps with everybody on the course, right? So there can be all kinds of crazy groups happening out there.
So I mean, the tips
everybody's got to be mingled.
Yeah, the tips are don't be by yourself when you go through that segment. Have somebody to draft with. And it doesn't matter whether they're in your category, a category up or a category down.
Yeah.
Find a group that's actually sprinting and stick with them.
Yeah.
And the laps are about 3 minutes. Like I think So I raced it, and the D's were not quite at the start banner when the C's went out, and the C's were just past the lap banner when the B's came out. So it was maximum mayhem. You
Yeah.
couldn't tell who you were racing at that point, but you just held on.
So I
just
guess
held on as
that's
long as I
one
could.
where if you're a strong D, it might be worth actually hammering the first lap to catch on to the C's.
Yeah, keep
Oh, yeah.
pushing on that downhill after the
Yeah.
sprint.
Yeah, because it is pretty much like just given the length of the course, there's a very good chance that right when you come out of the pen that a group is going to be right there, except
Yeah.
for the D's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's enough laps that you will then get lapped by a group of miscellaneous riders of unknown origin, and just keep watching the map and try to grab on when you can, I think.
Yeah. Know the colors.
Just
And know
lots
what
of
your
drops
colors
on the
are.
mini map.
Because the laps are like 2.5 to 3 minutes long, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy. When you think about it. It's like a sixth of your lap will be sprinting.
Yeah.
So, I don't. I take. Bike choice is there. I think it's just the normal wheel recommendations for road. The fastest road wheels, the 7/8s or the 454s. I wouldn't.
Should isn't since this is quite flat, isn't strong now for those kind of courses technically the fastest
No,
setup?
so we're still forced on the
It's Canyon Arrow. Sorry. Yeah.
There were
Yeah,
a lot of folks with discs. I was surprised.
Yeah, I was about to
in
say.
race one.
Yeah, because this it's pretty flattish outside of those up and down bits, but yeah, maybe the discs are for that type of course the fastest.
Do you think it's? I thought with the new interaction, the discs, unless it was pancake flat, you didn't want to
Okay.
be on discs anymore
I
on a road
yeah,
bike.
the discs are very, very nerfed
Yeah.
on road bikes, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think this is flat enough to really be well, but is it fast enough to be a benefit, I guess, whether it's flat or not? Because it's pretty fast.
By the time you get around to lap 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe not so
Yeah,
much.
maybe not. Yeah. No, I think I'm going 7/8, so
Yeah, I think that's the trick.
yeah. So I think it's you're the fastest non-disc wheel you have is the answer, I think.
I think that's right. I think that's right. And then I added other tips. Yeah, just hold on. Try to, sometimes you don't want to hit everyone. I'll say that as a tip. Like sometimes it is worth going a 3/4 effort every 3 or 4 to
Uh,
try to get a medium recovery for a couple laps so
Yep.
you can hang in with the group a little bit. I've found that like trying to win everyone from the start, you're gonna fade out faster, and it's better to like have a little more
Yeah.
valor later.
Yeah, so I'd say meter your effort at times, but definitely at least surge on every sprint or like every one of those bell sprints, even if you're not sprinting, up the power, stick in somebody's draft, hopefully somebody's draft who's pushing just a little bit harder than you want to, and try to get some points, even if it's not all the points.
We had someone in chat in race one say, I have no idea what's going on. And people were kind of, giving him their cryptic versions of, FTS through Prime. And he's like, dude, this is my second day riding on Zwift. And we're like, oh, have fun. No, just go fast when we go fast. He's like, got it.
That's pretty good.
I like
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really say sprint fastest your fastest time on the segment because he probably doesn't know the segment anyways.
He has no idea what FTS means. He's like, I don't know.
Nothing.
No.
Go
I got
fast when we go
nothing.
fast. Okay.
He's like, check.
The guy was probably not on Swift Power anyway.
No, I'm
Probably not.
sure. Yeah.
That
He's
too.
just having fun.
Yep.
Having
Yeah.
fun.
All right. I think that's all the tips we got for HSRL. HBR is also on Crit City this week.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
It's downtown Dolphin. Yeah.
yeah,
I think.
and
Yeah.
it's like we referenced or Nate referenced last week. It's the number of laps are based on your subcategory or your pen. It's for the E pen, the lowest it's 6 laps up to 10 laps for the A pen. So an additional lap per pen. So 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 laps depending on your category or your pen.
So the real philosophical question here is, do I want to do 22 laps of Crit City tomorrow morning and do the
Yes.
pull again like I did last week?
Yes, you do.
Oh, God.
Although, oh wait, no, HSRL does not affect your Zwift racing score. Am I
It
correct?
does not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, if you did too well in HSRL, you might not be able to race HBR. But
Yeah.
now, if you race too well in HBR, you might not be able to race in next week's HBR.
Which is fine. I am absolutely planning on that. I am also planning on racing it on my BMX bike. So
And if you're in the pen for HSRL, you're also upgrading technically your BMX bike.
well, no, because if I want to use other wheels, I have to select another bike, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
how
it.
would that work? The BMX wheels are not going to fit on that Canyon Air Road, but I guess I just put the standard wheels on.
Yeah. Well, the front
Cool
wheel,
if they did.
yeah. Yeah, the front wheel would.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
No. I think actually it would put me on the Zwift 32 millimeter or whatever.
Yeah.
The standard, well,
Yeah.
the standard.
Yeah. So I think I think it would put me on those.
Okay. Yeah, I don't any more tips for HBR. I mean, it's fly with a little lump, hang on to your group, sprint at the end, and try and win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's plan on going fast through the rollers and up the hill and or going harder through that every single lap, and that's about it.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
think
that
the
one will be there will be some last lap panache because it's you've got the kick up the roll up the cobbles and then the rollers to the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's
Well,
really tough to make that stick.
It is,
yeah,
but there's going to be people who want to split the group up there.
and there's going to be people who've never tried something like that before and never seen it not work. There's going to anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, now I
It's a
will
fair.
say on HBR, the when we decided that we had enough riders that we were going to split it up so it was you saw your own category only, absolutely the right call. Even if my race last week was kind of bizarre because of it, where it was me and one other guy basically playing the almost to the finish line. You go first, no, you go first for 20K. I think
And if you're,
he
and if
sprinted
you're,
every 2 kilometers to try and drop me at full sprint, and it didn't work any times.
That's also what I would try, although I might string it out more than that. But
Yeah, that
well, word of
that's fun.
shot.
It's go ahead.
No, I said word of shot. If you're not feeling confident about a sprint or you can think you eventually can break your competitor.
For those types of races, I think that having some ladder racing experience really helps because you end up uh, in those sorts of situations a lot. I had a race a couple weeks ago where I was out front in a group of three with two guys from the other team who were 1-2ing me, which was brutal. But
That sounds very unpleasant. Yeah. I generally assume that if anyone else is trying to dog it, that they're dogging it because they think they could beat me in a sprint, and they're probably right. So I'm not going to let that happen. And I'm just going to I'm going to go behind you. And then if you slow down to like under 200 watts, I'm going to go at like 500 for 30 seconds, then try and time trial away from you. And then if you catch me, I'm going to slow down till you go in front again. And that's the way we're going to do this whole race.
And that's essentially what we did. And it was entirely, I think I can out sprint you. I'm going to stick on your wheel no matter what you do.
If I was racing someone in HBR, I might bet on my sprint.
Well, I was also on the BMX bike, which was not going to help me as far as trying to time trial away.
True enough. Oh my God. I'm trying to imagine this poor guy in HBR and some guy in a BMX bike is just riding on his wheel the whole way around for 20K. No wonder he kept sprinting. He was just so angry about it. What is this donkey doing? Go away.
Maybe he thought, oh, this is a beginner on BMX bike. I'm clearly sprint away from him.
He was probably more angry when I out sprinted him at the finish.
Probably.
On the BMX bike.
This is true. All right. I guess we're into the news. I think, right? Oh, we will try and get a Stampede challenge going here. Sorry, I've been delayed on that this week because we're just into May 2nd and I diaries it. But anyway, we'll see if we can get it going. Probably not this weekend. We'll get it going for the rest of the week and into next weekend. I think we're gonna do a lap of the croissant.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
See if we can get that in. It's like 12K with the lead in.
oh, that's nice.
It's all the new stuff. So it's like, for C's and D's, it should be like a 20-minute FTP test.
Yeah.
For B's and A's, you'll be a little under that, but I think I've got it as a 3K lead in.
That will be unpleasant.
That's
So a little
that's
over 12.5.
That's real nice.
Yeah.
There's enough to be just a little bit interesting on that, but it's pretty flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All new roads.
Couple of up and down a bit. It's not technically it's not flat, but
yeah.
I think lots of people won't have ridden it maybe yet because I've been doing a lot of riding. It's brand new, and anyway, it'll be something to try out. Lots of people to set their PB on the route, all that kind of jazz. So seems like a good one.
technically I think it's a little net uphill, but not much.
Yeah, because those pens those pens are probably below that sprint banner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. 49-meter climbing, it says. So
yeah.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
And you could feel like you're an absolute champion as you're in your TT bike on the cobbles.
Yes.
Sean's just shaking his head like none of us could even ride 6 seconds on those cobbles on a TT bike on the bars.
Very few of us could ride 6 seconds on those cobbles on a road bike.
I think I could. I think I could, but I've taken my road bike through several mountain bike trails.
Yeah.
I did okay. At the gravel race.
Yeah. I've ridden on the Belgian and also Perry Ruby cobbles on a road bike, so it's doable.
Yeah,
not at the pace of the pros, but I survived it.
Not at 50 kilometers an hour, but
no, more like 20, 25-ish. Just bouncing from cobble to cobble.
All right, I think that's it for herd racing this week.
I think it is.
Yep. All right, we'll go on to the news, which we wanted to talk about the Zwift Women's Racing Series has introduced age group racing for May.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I guess Zwift's women's racing series. Yeah. So this is in partnership with FemCycle Collab. 4 races through May, and yeah, age-based women's racing. Loop and lava, turf and surf, coast to coast, and outer Scotland. It's a
And I think looking at the age categories, I think they'll sort of similar or basically the same as when we did our age-based racing
yeah.
on our spring chickens.
Although I think I will say I think we taught them a lesson. Yeah, they're are
Yes.
they yeah, they when I had to set it up, I'd set up the A's as the 60 and overs. I think we had
Yeah.
69 and over, did we not? We were 40 and under.
I think you're right.
It's
Yeah.
70
That
and
could be,
over
yeah.
was a category, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
well, that was a category in 38, yeah.
And the thing that they learned is not to do that because apparently the way the logic works for the category enforcement gets all messed up if you put the old people as A's. So
Yes.
people were able to enter like everything below it when that was like younger ages. So
Right.
if you do it this way, it should work better. So
This recommended category was not the category we wanted to be recommended. Yes.
yep. Yep.
Oops.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Well,
Kind of good. It's got so normal hardware requirements, neutralized bikes, which is what it is.
ride your
Uh,
complete.
BMX.
Probably good for a lot of maybe like ladies age group type racers. They might appreciate that they don't have to worry that they're on something that's slower because they haven't ridden 400 hours or cheated first. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
400 hours to upgrade their bike. Uh, Mass start. So yeah, all the categories all start together, which is kind of nice. So there should be lots of bodies.
Yep.
And then the power ups is just one arrow power up. So I mean, if you're getting dropped, put it on to hope you hold on. Otherwise, save it for the sprint at the end. Because these are all
Yeah.
scratch races, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
and it seems like they have a GC. There are 4 time slots, 3 on Tuesday, I think, 1 for APAC, 1 for EMEA, and 1 for US, and then 1 on Sunday afternoon EMEA time. So probably will be difficult for that's most likely just EMEA because I think with conversion, well, East Coast, I think it's still doable. Yeah, that's gonna be
Oh, I mean, even West Coast. What's
9
that?
hours, 16. That's gonna be 5:30 a.m. I think for West Coast if I'm
Not undoable, but yeah, early. If you're an early
Yeah.
bird.
Oh no,
Doable,
no,
but
not no, 9:30, I think. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, it's
Oh.
it's fine.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. And they will be doing the same kit in your category, so you can see sort of who you're racing in the
Oh, that might be where that came
on
from.
screen.
Somebody was asking for that for HSRL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think I've raced that in, I want to say Rhino or one of the series where you just had a big letter on your jersey.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think Rhino uses that for their chase races.
Chase races, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it makes perfect sense for chase races, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
I don't think I like it for HSRL. I want to identify.
Well, for the
different
age
people.
group, I think it's nice to be able to like, because I
Yes.
think that's one thing with our
Yeah.
no spring chickens. You're like, well, okay, I can see the little colors and the dots on the side of who I'm racing, but
No,
Yeah, I
who
think
that is on the screen is a little harder to pick out.
yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
I like it for if you're mass starting multiple categories. I think this is a
Yeah.
good solution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, if you're starting different categories separately, I think, yeah, I think I want to see identify different people within my group, not Just yeah.
This is a. I made the mistake of scrolling through the comments on the Zerk Inside
Yeah, I
article
was
about
about to
this.
say,
Oh no.
don't
What
go in there
the
the
Did we
comment
all
hell?
because
did we all do that? Yeah.
yeah,
What is wrong with this guy?
Stephen D or
I was going to say his name on the podcast.
yeah, yeah, well,
Oh God.
All right, around the horn. What
is
is
a
wrong with this guy?
is a mad in disguise, you know.
We all probably don't need to pile on, but like, so
No.
the comment on this is that, oh, I'm not in favor because I think there's too many participation trophies
Yeah.
in amateur racing now. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Then he
Yeah,
goes
There
on
should
to
be
say,
no
oh,
racing. There should be no racing except top level. There should be no hockey except the NHL. Yeah, people are idiots.
yeah. He was saying professional. Uh, First he said what ruins amateur racing, and then he said to argue with people, professional racing doesn't have each category. Pick your battle. Is it pro racing or it's amateur race or is it ruining amateur racing?
Oh no!
But also, pro racing does have the young riders jersey.
It
Like,
Yeah,
does, in fact, doesn't it?
and a climber's jersey and a sprinter's jersey. And
yeah. I will. My takeaway from the comments is that, as usual, women's racing brings out the worst in certain men.
I think it brings out the worst men to make the worst
Yes.
comments. So yeah, let's all ignore those people, and we'll just agree that those people should be ignored.
What I will say, I am impressed and think it's really cool that there's somebody who's 80 plus who's like, I'm excited to race in this.
Yeah,
It's like,
love it.
let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I'm giving this guy, he's got 25 downvotes and no upvotes. So everybody else thinks there's something wrong with this guy as well.
Yep.
All
I
right.
think also somebody said, well, age based races there can be quite a wide range in your age base. Yeah, we know that from as discussed, there are a lot of really fit 60, 70 plus riders that we as people can't follow anyway. So yeah,
You know when you have a lot of
decent.
time to train after you
yeah,
retire.
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well, let me know how that goes.
Oh, I've had guys tell me as they retire, as they were out the door retiring.
Oh, I know.
John will never be faster than 5 years from now.
Exactly. Somehow I'll even in a time machine.
It's true. It's true. All right,
Yeah,
which
but
is actually a really good segue into, I think what we actually want to do is round the horn, not giving air to the trolls. Sorry, everybody.
yeah.
John, you got a topic for round the horn.
Yeah, now with the weather in the northern hemisphere turning a little warmer, the days getting long enough to commute by bike, I've started experimenting with how wide of tires I need to sort of survive the urban landscape of construction and potholes and general lack of maintenance on the streets. Thinking that, oh, this will be great. I'll commute to work. It's about 15K each way. I'll be able to get a good workout in a couple times a day, and my Garmin keeps minimizing my efforts and saying, "Well, that was a nice recovery ride," but I wouldn't count it for much. And so I guess it's frustrating, and I'm looking for any ideas or tips of like how do you turn a commute with the inherent like limitations of stoplights and stop signs in an urban environment. And, the limitations, I mean, there's just sections of road where I can't really push it very hard for fear of just, getting my wheel stuck in some giant hole and crashing.
And or death.
Um, Yeah.
Just
So, and
Craig,
yeah,
I know has more
all manner of
ideas,
things. Yeah.
but I'll
So,
start with the question of, do you have a power meter on your bike?
I do not have a power meter, right? So I'm just really
Mm.
just using a watch, which is just, looking at my heart rate, which largely is motivated by level of effort, although sometimes by sheer terror, of somebody running through a stoplight. But um, yeah, so it's just looking at, I mean, I can get speed and, uh, you know,
Do you wear a
percent
heart rate monitor?
grade. Well, the watch has got a heart rate
Oh, okay.
monitor,
It's
right?
got like an image. Okay, yeah,
Optical heart rate monitor. So it's,
close enough.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
something.
So I'll throw two things out there, John. One that
Yeah.
I've definitely found the wrist-based heart rate under reads for me when I start going hard.
Okay.
So I don't know whether that's universal or just me, but
Yeah.
that is what I found. The second, I absolutely find compare. So most of my, the baseline that all these programs have on me is from indoors on Zwift, which is where I race the hardest and go the hardest with all my sensors on me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Outdoors, my heart rate is less for the same power. Just
Oh,
temperature, cooling, etc.
yeah,
Outdoors, for the same power, my heart rate is less.
okay.
So you're doing the same power, your heart rate is less. You're getting probably a little bit more than doing the less power at the same heart rate, depending on what you're really trying to train. But
Hmm.
the other real thing I think I want to say about it is, you know what it is, John? It's time on the bike.
Yeah.
Time on
No,
the
I
bike
think I,
is time. Don't worry about what intervals or Garmin or Strava is saying about it. Time on
yeah.
the bike is the biggest parameter in training.
yeah.
You can do some extremely suboptimal training. If you do enough of it, you'll get fast.
Good
It's
point.
yeah. So yeah, just ride. Don't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Still do if you want to do a really high quality workout. Erg mode on Zwift or
Yeah.
erg mode on your trainer is outstanding, whether you're using Zwift or another program. But outside is time on the bike, and it's time, with an elevated heart rate and turning the pedals, and it's good for you.
Yeah,
Good point.
Uh, do you have time a couple of days a week to turn your ride home into a longer ride?
Yeah, I think I could. I could make that happen. I used to do that in the pre-COVID days. You know, I would go straight up the hill from my office, which was always a slog, and then back down to the lake and take a big loop home. So that's
So
another
like, yeah,
thing.
I think that the two options for actually making this productive. So it's really hard to make your 15K, what, 40 minutes, something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Um, Unless you have some uninterrupted road, but like it doesn't sound like that's what you've got. It's stop
I
start
mean,
and like
I've got a decent little hill sort of right about the middle of it that's more or less uninterrupted. So, but it's only 5 minutes,
yeah,
4 or 5 minutes.
unless you want to like yeah, that's I don't think that it's worth trying to turn that into a workout.
Hmm.
Just getting some like low intensity miles and time in, like Craig said, and then either using the ride home as uh, something that you can extend, or using it as a warm up to get home, throw your bike on the trainer, and like do a workout. Like so, you have something
Well,
that is a continuous effort that is longer, even if it's takes you 5 minutes to get off the one bike, get to the other one.
right, right.
Uh, I think that is a potentially a nice use of it. Is you
Okay.
get off at home and then just bam, hop in a race, go do some like hill intervals, do something afterwards a
Hmm.
couple times a
Hmm.
week, and turn that evening session into, you know, now I've done an hour and a half or 2 hours. with some of that being focused work.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Or I could do like a weights workout when I get home. I've had my aerobic.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do swing some kettlebells around and do
All of that works. And I
Yeah.
guess I'll throw in, just because Sean, you made me think of it. So some of that is highly personal about how long you stay warmed up after a ride,
Mm.
or a run or whatever. I For me, it's quite a long time. And I've always, I found I could go for an easy run at lunchtime, and then after work, jump in with the kids at the track and jump almost straight into the intervals, because I still felt warmed up from 3 or 4 hours earlier. But that I complete not everybody does that. Some people get cold in half an hour. So yeah, that's a you got to learn yourself thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that can do based on the climate a lot of mileage outside. I used to well now I have like a 2 kilometer commute, but in previous office where we were, it was around 20 to 30 kilometers. I usually did my commute by bike in the summer months, but usually because we didn't really have at my office a place to shower, so the ride to the office I did pretty chill to not be all sweaty, but in
Yeah.
the afternoon, like Sean said, I made the ride longer, put on some extra loops, or just because of the variation. Because for one of the commutes, it was technically the fastest was around along a towpath around alongside the canal. It's it's fun for getting the miles done, but after a while, doing the same stretch over and over again was just getting boring. So I was able, because I had the options, because to extend it and do different routes and push it a bit harder, because I could shower at home. And I think also for the most part, referring to also what Craig and Sean said, I usually, not the commute part, but in the weekends when I go bike riding, I have a power meter with a thing but I technically have it on the screen, but I don't really pay too much to in a check to see maybe if I'm sticking on average around zone 2, but I usually use those miles as building up miles, like every mile or every 30 to 1 hour, whatever extra, well, yeah, what extra time you can spend on the bike at a certain level, even if it's higher zone 1, zone 2. If you do it regularly and consistently, it will improve your fitness over time.
The other
Yeah, I
thing,
think
Don,
that's
like
really good perspective that like it's better than taking the bus.
are you still you're still training for a triathlon, yeah?
Well, yeah, that'd be a whole separate topic. I still don't feel confident in my swim, but yeah, I
Mm.
think that's I'm wavering a little bit because I'm just like, am I gonna drown here? Like,
Can you
Probably
bet
won't, but
breaststroke? If you can breaststroke, you won't drown.
no,
yeah.
I think that's it. I won't really drown. It's just I can't.
And get a
I
wetsuit. Like it'll be wetsuit legal where you are too, right?
Oh yeah, it's cold. The water's gonna be cold, so it'll be
So
wetsuit.
like trust me, if you try swimming in a wetsuit, you will no longer be worried about drowning.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like a life-size life jacket
It's
or a
hard to get
full
your
body
head
life jacket.
it's hard to get your head underwater for more than a few seconds.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
say it's similar to like one of those pool buoy things that you put between your legs? Because that's what I can do like 500 meters with a pool buoy.
Well, it helps your legs float like a pool buoy, a little bit because it
Yeah,
floats your
yeah,
legs, but like it floats your whole
right.
body. Like you'll be amazed how floaty a wetsuit is. Like there's a
Okay,
reason
okay.
that, in triathlon, especially if they're doing a big amateur triathlon and it's like close, the organizers are like, no, it's cold enough for wetsuits. Trust me. Like, let me just
Right.
hold this ice cube next to the like thermometer as
To
I
the
stick it in the
temperature.
lake here. Like
Yeah.
they want them to be cold because especially for beginners and people who don't race and stuff a lot, like the wetsuit's like
Yeah.
a bit of a safety blanket. So, but
Okay.
the other reason I was asking is like if that's what you're doing, are you planning to use like clip-on aero bars, or are you just planning to do like a on
I'm
the
just gonna do a
handles?
road bike. Yeah, just the road
Yeah.
bike I got, and yeah,
Because the other
it's
thing is I
just to do
would
it.
use some of that time. I know you're talking about the quality of the stuff, but like take your race bike out on that stuff because even riding not as fast will build confidence in your bike handling. And I think every
Mm,
triathlete, especially, underestimates how useful good bike handling, or at least medium capable bike handling, I know I did, like can be
hmm
to your
hmm
racing, right? Like it just even just being able to like take medium fast curves and feel like how curves feel when you're trying to ride a little bit harder or get around. Like you're probably on a road, there's probably going to be like crazy potholes and stuff. It's probably an open road. So getting a little
Yeah,
bit used
yeah,
to that and how your
Bunny
bike handles on
hoppy,
the open road.
bunny hop, 3 curbs in quick succession.
yeah.
It will help you on your race day as well. So like that's another thing to take away from it a little bit in terms of like feeling like it's not just wasted. I'm practicing my bike handling.
Yeah, it does feel like I'm practicing bike handling from the last 3 or 4 years of like a lot more mile kilometers on the trainer. And, I would do rides on the weekends and they were pleasant, but I wasn't pushing it very hard, or I wasn't really paying that much attention. And now that I'm sort of pushing it, I'm thinking, oh boy, the road quality is a challenge. So it's a little dicey in some sections. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get out there, you look around, there's no cars for the next 3 minutes. I'm gonna like get down on the drops and I'm gonna
Yeah.
push this little segment here around this turn and practice my line through these turns and what they look like and what it feels like, how far I can lean over. Because
hmm
yeah, once you get
hmm
into a race and you're trying to, you're seeing a guy in front of you, you think you might catch or whatever, maybe you'll catch him on the run, but you're
Right.
like, or I want to hold this guy's. Now you're probably non-draft, so you're not gonna like draft him, but you want to like hold the gap. You're gonna want
Yeah.
to like fit his line and stuff like that. So it's just
Yeah.
a way to build that confidence for an actual event.
Wow. These are all great thoughts. Thanks.
Good. Well, I think with that note, we will say thank you to Sean Fogenberg. Thank you to Stef Chen. Thank you to John Keenan. Thank you to Craig Martin. Thank you to everyone doing herd races this weekend. 12 laps on the Bell lap, everybody. Get out there
Ding
and
ding.
ding ding it. That's right. Thank you to everybody who's listening at home. Moo and good night. We doing a terrible ending.